Thursday Night Football kicks off tonight. The Patriots visiting the Jets. New England is coming off of a tough overtime loss in Week 2 against the Seahawks. The team did, however, play true to their identity and running for 185 yards in the loss, which, speaking of, the biggest strength for this Patriots team through 2 games has been their run game. New England has racked up 213 rushing yards after contact, which is 41 more yards than any other team. They'll be facing a Jets run defense that ranks in the bottom half of the league. We got Mina here to join the party. Mina, great to see you as always. Stephen A., Dano, and J-Mac here as well. All right, Mina, I'm going to start with you on this one. Who do you think has the edge in this one, that Jets defense or the Patriots run game?
I think it's New England. This is a particular matchup that favors them, going beyond just the numbers you showed there. Think back to Week 1. San Francisco 49ers are missing Christian McCaffrey, so they come out with more of their traditional zone running game with Jordan Mason, and they just bulldoze the Jets. And we realized watching that, Dan and I talked about this a lot the next day, this New York Jets front, which of course plays that wide 9 alignment, is actually quite vulnerable to the run. Meanwhile, this New England rushing attack is not only successful, they can beat you in a bunch of different ways. You saw that Week 1 against Cincinnati when they pivoted to the more of the downhill running game with those duo runs. You saw that again in Week 2 against Seattle where they had more success running off tackle. I'm telling you, if this Jets run defense doesn't improve, and I think there's both personnel and structural reasons why it's not that strong, New England's going to run all over them, and that would be the formula for a Patriots upset, running the ball and keeping it from the New York Jets.
Totally agree.
Well, it's my turn, Dan. I want to chime in here. I won't say too much because, I mean, Lord forbid, we don't want to question Mina. I mean, we don't want to question her. I mean, we might get ourselves checked real quick. We might want to get ourselves real quick. We got to safeguard ourselves. But, Mina, you bring up the Russian attack for the New England Patriots, which obviously has been lethal over the first 2 games. Did you know that their entire offensive line has been listed on the injury report this week, and their left guard and their left tackle are ruled out already? So my attitude is, what running game? I don't expect that to happen tonight. I think that because of that, because of all of those question marks in your offensive line, dare I say, you might find yourself in a position where you got to throw the football if you are the New England Patriots as opposed to running it. And even then, obviously, it's going to be suspect. Jacoby Brissett, let's see what he does, etc. But the bottom line is this. You look at the Jets. The one thing that I will say that I'm concerned about, this is the Jets' 3rd game in 11 days. Had a Monday night against San Francisco. You played last week, and now you got a Thursday night. 3rd game in 11 days. How tired, how fatigued, how worn out they may be could factor into the equation. But that's why you've got somebody like Aaron Rodgers who needs the work, okay, who needs the repetition. Figure it out. And I think with the offensive line, with the dual backs that they have at the running back spot in Hall and Allen, I think that the New York Jets, this is a game that they're ripe to win, in my opinion. I don't think the Patriots running game, because of those injuries, are going to factor into the equation the way they did the first 2 weeks. That's all I'm trying to say, Mina. Lord forbid, I'm not questioning your greatness. I'm not questioning your knowledge. I'm just
Well, you're wrong, Stephen A. It's the Patriots run game, okay? Let me give America a name that Herbie's going to say a lot tonight, Caden Wallace. What the Patriots are going to do is put 6 offensive linemen on the field, and to Mina's point, they're just going to condense and shrink stuff down, and they're going to make the defensive backs for the New York Jets, DJ Reed if he plays, and specifically Sauce Gardner, who is fantastic, they're going to make Sauce Gardner tackle. Yeah. And they're going to make Sauce Gardner tackle on the perimeter. And Ramondre Stevenson, if that's exactly what they did in Week 1 versus Cincinnati, and they struggled with it. Yeah. And that's exactly what they did last week to the Seattle Seahawks. They are not going to let those corners just play coverage this evening. They're going to put Caden Wallace on the field and play 6 offensive linemen, and they're going to tell Ramondre Stevenson, you take the edge when you can and force. This is a chin strap game. I don't know anything about that. Can I tackle people? You do more. You better buckle up your chin strap. You got defensive back. You better buckle. That advantage New England in that.
I love that, Dan. Only time in the chin strap where you get sacked and your chin strap's all the way to the left, you have to adjust it. Stephen A., to your point, exactly. They are banged up on the offensive line. You know who their backup guard is that's going to be playing? His name? Michael Jordan. MJ's coming in the game, and he is going to help them. He's like, what you talking about? And Ramondre, when he comes through, get out the way. Because their running game, to your point, Dan, when they played the Bengals, they did put Caden Wallace out there as that extra lineman. He may have to play a little bit more to the injuries that Stephen A. talked talked about. But that's the thing. You watch this Jets defense, and even the Titans last week, they ran the ball on the edges, and they were able to get yards there. I think the Patriots are going to do the same exact thing. And I think for them in New England, the reason their run game is going to be because they can't rely on anything else. Their offensive coordinator is in the lab all week designing runs to be able to go out there and win the game because they don't have the weapons on the outside. And the Bengals knew it was coming. They had everybody in the box, and they ran the ball to the outside. To your point, those corners were forced to tackle Ramondre Stevenson all game long, and they didn't do it. We watched this Jets defense when the 49ers did it. Sauce came out the game, and I know he said he got the wind knocked out of him, but you look at the plays before that, they were running the ball to him, and he was not able to fit it. So that, to me, is going to be the difference, them forcing that ball on the outside and forcing DBs to have to come. I live that life. I don't want to have to tackle no big running back the entire game. I'm paid to go out there and cover.
That's fair. That's fair. By the way, you did bring up Michael Jordan. If you would allow me, fellas, ladies, I'm in Charlotte today because Michael Jordan got me hosting some damn event for NASCAR. Me.
NASCAR.
That's right up your wheelhouse.
Got me holding some.
Fit right in.
In a word,
that is why I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, because that damn Michael Jordan, ordered me to be here. So that is why I'm here. He's got me available. He's got me.
Okay. There's levels.
He ordered me to be here. I'm here.
Mina, did you want to say anything about what J-Mac had to say?
Well,
No, I can't come back with that
obviously-
argument. I'll leave it to Mina. Go ahead, Mina.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said buddy. Yeah, I mean, obviously the three of us are in alignment about this physical Pats run game. I just wanted to add one thing, another reason why I think they're going to run the ball and run the ball well. I don't think they're going to fall behind. To me, one of the most slept-on units in the entire NFL is this Patriots defense. They are for real. They have studs at every level. They're so well coached. I think their simulated pressures are going to give this Jets front fits. They are exceptional against the run. By the way, much better than New York on that front. So I see this game being close and ugly, exactly how New England wants it.
Yeah, Keon White, Jabril Peppers, Kyle Duggar, those are names.
Keon White, you guys.
Keon White.
Been unreal. Grown man, doesn't smile. So
That's true.
Okay, Stephen A., I want to ask you this. Do you think that tonight is a must-win game for the Jets?
I wouldn't say must win in terms of the record. I'd say psychologically, yes. If you are different than what we thought you were, or what we believe or what we've seen you be over recent memory, you haven't made the playoffs since 2010. Let's keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. With Aaron Rodgers being here, he's supposed to be a difference maker. He's supposed to be somebody that can find a way to get you over the hump, particularly if you have a defense that's going to keep you in the game. And then it comes down to his ability along with his decision making. And I think that if you're the New York Jets, you want to send a message that indeed times are not what they used to be. These are different times. I know they've snapped their 15-game losing streak last January in Foxborough, but in the end, you're on your home turf. You should be able to handle your business against a New England Patriots team that simply is not that formidable offensively. I'll give it to them. They're pretty elite defensively based on what Mina and Dan and Jay, you have said. No doubt about that. But offensively, they are challenged to say the least. You should be able to handle your business, stay in this game, and be in a position to win it if you're the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium today.
Absolutely. I agree with Stephen A. 100% on this one because you look at this season and what it was supposed to be. The New England Patriots are supposed to be drafting first overall at the end of this season. We went in and we're like, they're 32 of 32. Now, they've surprised through the first 2 weeks, but Rodgers comes back healthy, and it's supposed to be a Jets team that is destined for greatness, destined for the playoffs. If you can't beat New England, something that you've barely done over the last 10 years, then there's a ton of question marks around this team and what they're truly capable of. We're talking about a Jets defense that is not the strength of their team, which we fully expected. We're asking Rodgers to do more than in the preseason. We're like, we just need him to game manage. And now we're talking about, well, does he have to do more? So I think question marks continue to surround him if they're not able to beat a Patriots team that going into the season was supposed to be lackluster.
It also comes down to this, Dan. I mean, bottom line is this. If the offensive line is as vastly improved as Pro Football Focus and others say the Jets' offensive line is compared to what it was last year, then you have to do a good job protecting Aaron Rodgers against that ferocious defense of the New England Patriots. Protect him, give him some time to do his thing. Let's see what happens. So we're going to find out a lot about specifically the offensive line tonight for the New York Jets, because if they perform tonight, then there's no reason to believe that they can't perform against other opposition as the season progresses.
Yeah, I think the Jets win tonight. I don't think this is an easy game for them. I do believe this is going to be a low-scoring football game. The expectation is for them to win the game, though. I mean, if they can't beat New England at home, then it's unrealistic for me to sit here on TV and say, well, I think that if they get right, they could beat the Chiefs, or they could beat the Texans, or they could beat the Bengals, or they could beat the Buffalo Bills. So, yeah, it's not a must-win. Again, their season's not over if they lose, but certainly of, like, winning these games and kind of taking those next steps.
The Patriots are 16-2 over the Jets in the last 10 seasons. That's since 2015. What's up?
Mina, do you approve of our breakdown there at all? Do you approve of it, Mina? We just want to check. Want to check and make sure, Mina.
I agree with everybody. I think especially what Dan said, like, because of what is happening in Miami, I don't think there's as much pressure on New York as there was. However, if they lose this game, it's going to be hard to think of them in that same top tier in the AFC.
This has been a good morning for Dan.
I was going to say, everybody's.
I think it's got a lot to do with the chair he's sitting in. I think it's got a lot to do with the chair he's sitting in.
It's a good morning for me?
Yeah, it's good morning for you.
All I've been, everyone's just made fun of me on TV for the last 3.5 hours, which is relatively common.
We did.
When did we make fun of you?
Relatively common.
He took a shot at me. She took a shot at me. Stephen A.
We don't take shots at you. We just tell it like it is. We just tell it like it is. I don't see much of a difference between you and Will Levis personally, but that's just me.
Will Levis is jacked.
Yeah, I had the body of.
Come on.
He's talking about mayo.
Oh, yeah. What kind of
Your
mayo?
mayo sandwiches.
Yeah.